YouTube, what's going on, you guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a burst fade V-cut. It's a full-blown tutorial on how to achieve this look right here. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys hit that sub button. And also, I did drop another video on my guy here that did fairly well for me. It's one of my most viewed videos, so check that video out. I'm gonna leave a little pin at the top of this video. It's a perfect mid-fade tutorial. But anyways, for this tutorial, what we're gonna be doing first is creating that V-cut in the back of the neck. He wanted his V-cut a little bit higher, so I went ahead and just chopped down everything below that. About a finger, guys. It's not so much because you want his hair to grow back just as best as possible so his haircut can last. So create that V shape, aim it towards the middle of his neck, so make sure that everything is nice and proportional, and then just repeat the process about half a finger above that line. So this is the number 6 guard with the lever closed. I wanted to get an idea of how long my client's hair was on the side, so I just went in and just did a little trial and error run, and I realized that it was cutting a little bit, so I opened up the lever. This is a 6.5, and now I know that the sides of the hair is a 6.5, so I can go ahead and start setting my guidelines. The first guideline is super foundational, guys, so we want to go ahead and start right there at the middle of the ear, kind of where the design ends. And I'm setting my guideline with my Stylecraft Gamma hitters. So using the left corner very softly. These are my soft trimmers, which means that they come straight out of the box like that. I don't zero gap them, so it makes it easier for you to erase that line in the future. So create that guideline. You guys can see I didn't go that far deep into the temple of the head. I gave myself a lot of room because I'm trying to make this kind of like a low burst fade. So now that our first guideline is set, every single guideline on top of that has to be replicated in the same form. So right here, using our 1.5 guard, closing the lever, you guys can see the levers all the way to the top. This creates the 1.5. It's a 2-finger guideline that's proportional to the previous guideline that we set. So the reason why I like starting in the middle in this particular tutorial, I just like starting in the middle whenever I do any low fades, any low tapers, and in this video we're doing a low burst fade, so it just helps me just know exactly how high I can go. You guys can see there, nice crispy guideline is set. Now we're gonna work our way up from that guideline using our number 6 guard. These couple steps are just run-throughs, guys, so don't overthink it when it comes to these steps. All we're doing is just going from the 6 to the 5 to the 4 to the 3, all the way down to the 1.5. So we blend everything on top to set that nice clean base. So then we can blend everything below the 1.5 guard. So right here, I'm also using my 4 guard with the lever open. So everything above that was 6, 5, 4, then we're gonna go 3, and then number 2 guard. So in this step is a 3 guard with the lever open. We're flicking out. We'll go 2 fingers from that 1.5 guard. We started with 3 fingers above that 1.5 guard. Now we're all the way down to the 2 guard. Let's close the lever, guys, and hit that guideline that we set with the 1.5. We're gonna hit the beginning of the guideline with our lever closed. And as we go a tiny bit higher, we're gonna keep opening up the lever. This is called the close to open lever method. Your goal as a barber is to keep your work as organized as possible so you guys can be able to see your guidelines, you guys can be able to see your mistakes as you go through the haircut. And in this step, we're just balding out the beginning guideline and we're leaving a tiny bit of room with the shaver. So don't go all the way up. You want to give yourself about half a finger of stubble to work with. So then in this step, we're going to open up our lever and create that first guideline on top of the bald line. So once you guys run through that guideline multiple times and make sure it's consistent, the next step is to make our job easier, a smoother blending process by baby tapping the beginning of the guideline using our soft trimmer. So this is just a little technique that I like using to make my job easier, and I just run through this step a lot faster, and I don't have to rely on my clipper to get rid of that sturdy ball line. My favorite technique to getting rid of this first guideline is using the middle open close method. So we're gonna put our lever in the middle and we're gonna attack the guideline in the middle. So wherever you guys place your lever is where you wanna attack the guideline. And I start from the right side of the head going towards the ear. I make sure that everything is nice and blended on one side of the head. So then I can move to the other side once that side is complete. So our lever is still in the middle, and I keep just going back and forth, using the left corner and the right corner. So once I'm done and I feel comfortable, I can go a step further and I open up the lever. So just repeat that process, guys, until you're comfortable to moving on to the next step. When you guys close the lever, make sure you guys just baby tap the beginning of the guideline and you don't go any higher, because you guys can potentially push that guideline further and you guys can turn your low burst fade into a mid or into a high depending on how many mistakes you make. If you guys recall, we did use a 1.5 to create the base of our haircut. Now that line that you guys see there is just the leftovers of our 1.5. What we're gonna do is we're gonna attach our 1 guard. You guys can see my lever is completely closed. This creates the 1. So what we're gonna do is go about 2 times with our lever closed, baby tap the beginning of that line until we open up our lever 1 level, 1 notch. So the babyless silver FXs have notches on the side that locks the lever in place just so it won't move. And that's why I like using it in this step, because you get more precision off of just having notches rather than just playing guessing games with like a magic clip or a lever that doesn't have notches. So the whole goal in this step is to soften this guideline and to make it a smoother blending process when we use our half guard. So you might be asking yourself, how much room do I have to work with in this step? So always give yourself about 1 finger of room to work with in between guidelines, whether that's doing close to open, middle open, closed, whatever lever method you guys decide to use, always give yourself 1 finger of room. So on the next step, now that our guideline is softened, I'm gonna use the 0.5 guard and do the same thing, the close to open lever method. You guys can see how crispy this haircut's already coming out, but we want to take our work to the next level. Let's double check our work now, guys, and do some detail work. So I'm closing the lever and getting rid of some of that stubble that you guys can see there using the left corner, but as I keep going higher into the fade, I'm opening up the lever. This is called lever play. So anytime you guys see any inconsistencies in your fades, aim for dark spots, and as you go higher into the fade, you want to open up the lever and always remember where you set your guidelines. So if you need to go higher, you can always attach a guard and do the same method. Hair growth is super important, guys. When you guys use your shaver, don't necessarily go up and down all the time. You might have to angle it to its side just to go against the grain of the hair growth. It helps when you guys want to make your fades a lot blurrier. In this step now, I'm going in that maybe like that 1.5/2.5 region using my comb and my scissors and just aiming for dark spots again, guys. As I go higher into the blend, I start pulling away my comb to create a nice smooth surface. So how I like starting my lineups first, I already did the C cup area, so it just gives me a strong foundation when you guys do the C cup area first. Then you guys can attack it either on the left side or right side, depending on what side you feel more comfortable. A lot of barbers don't talk about the positioning of the trimmer. It's very important to, as you go around the head, you angle the machine according to how flat or how round his head is, so you can get your machine to hit as best as possible. Once we're done with the hairline, guys, we want to go in and start doing some detail work. This is a new technique that I started using recently. It just works out when you hit it above maybe the 2.5 area to the 3.5. It's just meant to flatten out that hair to make it really smooth, and it just replicates the clipper over comb method. And in the back of the V-cut, what makes these lines crispy is you got to make sure you make that top line crispy as well as that bottom line, and that line in between, you make it crispy using the straight razor. So as long as you guys have these tools, you guys just use a very soft touch when you guys do this outlining, you guys should be able to accomplish a fairly crispy V in the back. This is the last step in the whole video. If you guys have any inconsistencies in your haircut, make sure you guys double check your work before you guys let your client walk out of the chair. This is the before and this is the after.
You, sir, are the greatest artist who ever lived!
After every single step in this video, I created this low burst fade V-cut, and everything that I know about haircutting was demonstrated in this video. If you guys enjoyed the content, let me know down below in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up and also subscribe for more videos. I'll be dropping more videos every single week. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching this video all the way through. I'll catch you guys on the next tutorial. Peace.